Next Act before the pandemic was an organization devoted to like live performances specifically.
I wanted to be part of Next Act because I did a little musical called Company with them my freshman year. That was the first musical I did at UGA and the first show where I was actually part of the cast and not just an understudy in any capacity at UGA. And that was a really wonderful experience getting to do a show that I never would have dreamed I could even be a part of before, and getting to meet a whole bunch of people that really gave me a nice little group of friends. And then I got to work with more people that were involved with Next Act in other productions and in the Broadway Backwards Cabaret that spring. And it just solidified for me what a wonderful group of people it was and what a great opportunity it was to produce musical theater that mattered to me, and that wasn't just, oh, this is what will sell tickets or this is what professors or teachers want us to do, but something that was actually student controlled and allowed us to tell the stories we wanted to tell.
I've been involved with Next Act since second semester of my freshman year. I was in my first musical in college, The Addams Family, with them. Um, and like I just immediately knew I was like, ugh, okay, these are my people. This is where I belong. Like these people get me. These are the same kind of theater people that I've known like my whole life.
I think cabarets, in a sense, give students more opportunities to participate in something. There are students that maybe feel a little bit nervous about the real acting thing, like being in a musical. There are also a lot of students that love musical theater and want to participate in it, but don't have the time to commit to a full scale musical production. So I think with cabarets, that allows us to meet even more students where they are. So students that are maybe involved with other things, they can still participate in a Next Act cabaret, or students that maybe don't love musical theater as much, but they really love to sing and they want to showcase that. We do some cabarets that give them the opportunity to just participate in it that way. And it also allows us to really address something. If there's not a musical that we can produce that talks about what we want to talk about, we can make that part of what we're putting out there as an organization just by having the idea and going through with it.
What is Broadway backwards? Like, why is that something that we do every year?
So Broadway Backwards we started doing Broadway Backwards our sophomore year. And it was kind of just like a thing that is a thing in the musical theater community. Like every year on Broadway, they do like miscast or like Broadway Backwards Equity Fights AIDS. And it's usually like a fundraiser. And you take songs from musical theater and you just completely change everything about them in every regard, whether that be about gender, sexuality, intent, context, lyrics, style. You just completely obliterate what the original author intended, and you make it your own, and it ends up being a lot of fun. And it was like one of our best selling things, and like people wanted more. So we decided as like an organization, this is like our annual thing. Like we have an annual big musical, and now every year we should have like an annual Broadway Backwards.
I was going to make my directorial debut with Broadway Backwards 2020. That was in March, was when we cast it. It was the very, very beginning of March, those first few days. And not 2 weeks later, we went to spring break and we never came back. There weren't really other avenues to produce art, so we wanted to make sure we were still keeping that opportunity for at least a little bit of art to be put out into the world at the very, very trying time. So we decided to turn it into a little bit of a fundraiser and publish, I think it ended up being 7 sort of music videos. We ended up raising $500 in a day, which was crazy. And we never could have even dreamed of getting that. We were going to have things running for a whole week trying to get people to chip in $5 to help our little student org keep chugging. But they really liked it. And I was really proud of the work that we were able to put out there and that we were able to still create art.
So what makes this year's special?
We're going live again. We're gonna be live. So after like 3 or 4 performances this semester that have been digital and wonderful, not to discredit them, but we're going back to a live venue outside. And I think we saw the clear effects of what having a live event does. We sold out in a day.
I am so excited that we're returning to live theater. As happy as I am about the strides we've been able to make with virtual cabarets, this is what we're here to do.
Musical theater is like my lifeblood. Like it is what I live for. It's what I've lived for a very long time. Just the privilege to be able to create something in a time when we have been so limited on what we can create just feels really great.
It's been over a year since Next Act last had a live performance, and as happy as we've been, we've all really been missing that connection and being able to be in the space and just experience art in the space.
And so my goal with this Broadway Backwards was to show that musical theater people can, one, have something to say, and two, musical theater doesn't have to be what musical theater was when it first began. We're a contemporary audience and a contemporary group of people, and I want musical theater to reflect the contemporary values of the real world.
And giving students the opportunity to play the lead and to play that character that's complicated, because we believe that undergrads can play complicated roles. We believe that undergrads are good actors and sometimes even really, really great actors. And they deserve the opportunity to become even better actors and to work on really important work.
By doing Broadway Backwards, we're pushing the bounds of what people think about these characters and what people think musical theater can be, because musical theater can mean something.